Welcome back, my little lambs. It's time for another episode of NT Sheep's Digital Wonderlands. Welcome back, my little lambs. Here's the next part of the video for our completing the daily and weekly challenges that reset on December 9th. By the time you're watching this, obviously I managed to get them all. I sat there and also did a bunch of running through West Tech to sit there and increase my score. So I hit level 100 on the scoreboard on December the 10th and have everything unlocked. I'll probably be doing some videos for that. I've been working around playing with the Dom Pedro pistol, so look for some videos for that. I'm going to go ahead, and this one's probably going to be a little bit long, but I didn't want to break it up into two smaller things, so let's go ahead and just see where we go and see what other challenges I was able to complete in one day.
Recon scope for Defiance artillery strike at Victorium.
Okay, so we're getting ready to do some ammo crafting here, and as I opened up my perk card menu, I noticed I forgot to reset my perception perks. I had previously been out harvesting plants for making food and stuff, so my green thumb card was equipped instead of some of the other perks that I keep for my bloody build. So that's one thing that was probably hurting me a little, but not really much in the end. For ammo crafting, what I like to do is I like to use the Ammo Smith and Agility and the Ammo Factory and Legendary perks. Now you need to make sure that you put these on in a specific order. You always want to do Ammo Smith first before you equip Ammo Factory. I don't know if it's been fixed, but in the past I've noticed there was a bug that if you would equip Ammo Factory first and then Ammo Smith, the numbers don't match up. You will actually be losing rounds that way. Equipped Ammo Smith first, then Ammo Factory and Legendary perks, and that will always give you the maximum amount of ammo that you can get using those two cards. The next card that is really good to use is Super Duper, because when it triggers, it gives you double the amount of whatever you're crafting. So if you've got weapons that are pretty ammo intensive, like Gatling guns or any of the heavy machine guns like the 50 cal or the light machine gun, this is a great way of producing lots of ammo when you've only got a limited amount of the resources needed to craft it. While I was checking out what daily and weekly challenges I had left, I looked over at my clock and noticed the top of the hour was almost here. So that means Mutated event. We're going to be able to take care of those challenges real quick with this, so let's hop to it. Moonshine Jamboree is a pretty fun event. It's great for a lot of reasons. If you're trying to get XP because there's so many waves of enemies, this is great for that, especially during double XP weekends, or if you're giving yourself your own little mini double XP weekend by using lunchboxes to boost your experience. That's a great way of doing it. The best thing to do is make sure whatever weapon you're using fires very quickly. You know, fast firing semi-autos, good. Automatic, even better. The next thing that you gotta have is the explosive effect on your weapon so that you're getting that explosive splash damage. Use the Grenadier perk card to increase the size of that explosive effect. That makes it even easier to sit there and hit enemies and get them tagged. That way you'll be getting experience, because a lot of players will show up to this event usually, which means the enemies are going to fall pretty darn quick. A lot of players just tend to go ahead and bring super heavy weapons. You'll see a lot of them using auto grenade launchers, and they'll just carpet bomb the area. So as long as you're sitting there and just getting some hits tagging just by spraying and praying whatever weapon that you've got, you stand a good chance of getting a lot of experience. The only downside to Moonshine Jamboree is it's a particularly long event. You'll notice that you've got over 6 minutes to sit there and talk to Moonshiner Ned just to start the event. And then the waves themselves usually last about 2 minutes for each wave, and then there's like a 30-second cooldown between them. So this is one of those events that can actually take so long that by the time you're done with it, in just a couple of minutes, the next event on the server is going to start. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and skip to the end of this event. That'll help keep this video a little bit shorter. Obviously, we're going to get our mutated kills out of this. Well, we've made it to the end of Moonshine Jamboree. I ran out of shells for my pepper shaker, so I had to switch over to using the Elder's Mark. And then I'm also going to bring out the Kabloom for any last-minute enemies that we may run into. We are overweight from some of the harvesting that we've been doing during the event. You've got to get the acidic gulper venom, and the easiest way to do that is you just hop down and do the loot all for all bodies near you. So you're just going to be grabbing everything, but it makes it easy to turn around and run in and drop off the venom. So we'll be scrapping some things, and then we'll be moving on to our next set of challenges. Okay, you can see that we've got all of our dailies taken care of, so now we just got to work on weeklies. Let's see, Robo Brains and Protectrons, that can be easy. We just got to go and go down to Watoga. Harvesting vegetables could be easy. There's nothing up here in Toxic Valley. So let's see, General Steakhouse. There's lots of vegetables behind it, so we're going to go there, and we'll get that, and then I think we'll go hunt robots. Okay, so the Wild Plant and Funky Challenge is taken care of, and while I was doing it, I realized enough time has passed that I should be able to go back to my camp and harvest more of my purified water, because that's one of the challenges, and then also drinking water is one of the challenges, so we should be able to complete those fairly easy too. We'll go ahead and do that, then we'll see about doing some of these darn robots.
Today's junk output is error. Sensors are dirty.
One of the other weekly challenges that really bugs me is the teapot one. There's only a couple of places in the game that are very well known where you have a good chance of finding teapots. And because everybody knows them, that means sometimes I've seen it take several days before teapots start showing up again. So this is a challenge that usually I will sit there and re-roll if I can. We're going to go ahead and check out the antique shop here in the bog. If you're lucky, you can usually find 2 or 3 there. The next place that has lots of teapots, if nobody's taken them all, is the Palace of the Winding Path. There's like about 15 teapots total there, so you would think there'd be enough to go around, but no. That one, it'll usually be about 3 days before teapots start showing up there again, when teapot shows up as a weekly challenge on Tuesdays. Crippling of Protectron or Robo arms is really easy to do with small arms like handguns or shotguns, something that is fairly easy to aim. Usually you can sit there and take out both arms on a Protectron before it's completely destroyed, so you don't have to hunt as many to complete the challenge. But as you're probably going to assume and guess correctly, since we're going to be using the Kabloom, and since we had so many problems earlier with the darn Blood Eagles, and is the splash damage affecting me? Is it the server being laggy? Who knows, but as we make our way through Rotoga here, yes, there's going to be several instances of me getting effed over by the game.
Unidentified intruder detected.
Welcome to the Watoga Civic Center. The future of events.
Okay, so most of the robots in town have already been destroyed or are glitching out and not coming out of their pods. Plus, there's other people here who are hunting, so that's going to change things. We're going to go ahead and travel to the Robco research facility. There's Protectrons and Robo Brains there, so that'll be probably where we can go ahead and get the last of them to complete that challenge. Because I completed the Mayor for a Day quest, that's one of the reasons why the robots in Watoga are friendly to me, so I have to manually aim at them. I can't use VATS. Here, though, I'm going to be able to use VATS, so the Robo Brains I'm going to be going after, I'll be able to target their arms directly, which is going to make taking them out a little bit easier. Okay, at this point I had been playing the game for almost an hour, so as you can see, it's possible to sit there and get all your dailies and weeklies done pretty darn quick. The rest of them are going to be super simple. The mutated events, I just got to log into the game at the top of every hour, complete a mutated event. Kill enemies in Burning Springs. Go over there and just hunt a few enemies. It doesn't matter what. There's plenty of places where I know I can go and get a couple of quick kills. So finishing off the rest of the weekly challenges isn't going to take me much more time, so I'm just not going to bother recording that. This was just to sit there and show you that with a good setup and everything, doing the dailies and weeklies shouldn't take you that long. Thank you so much for watching, my little lambs, and I hope to see you again next time in the Digital Wonderlands.